I've been using this budget roof rack for over a year now. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff on this rack and it's not just sitting on the truck looking pretty. Let's hop into how this rack has been holding up over this year. This roof rack here comes in at $399. That's half the price of the competition basically. Really nice budget for this rack, but that comes at some costs. Some of the costs are fitment issues. When I was installing this rack, I ran into some fitment issues with the antenna on the roof of the truck. I expected there to be some issues at this price point. I ended up grinding that out a little bit so it fit over the antenna on the roof. Other than that, there was some little annoyances with this roof rack as well, with the T-slots and mounting all this stuff on there. I was running into some issues because they have a proprietary system to mount stuff on there. Not like your typical roof rack, you would see a normal T-slot. This is a little bit different, so I ran into some trouble when I was mounting this. I do a little bit of DIY work to get some stuff to fit up there. Luckily, with this being a budget roof rack, I didn't really care to do some DIY grinding on it because it was so cheap. So at the end of the day, I was like, I'm saving money. I didn't really care if I had to grind some pieces off of it to get what I wanted to fit up there, so it didn't matter to me because it was so cheap. Looking at the roof rack here, what I actually have installed on it, at the front I have a light bar. This is a last fit light bar and it was annoying to get installed. Now, I don't know if it was annoying because of the mounts last fit gave me or annoying because of the mounting system that they have in place here. Either way, it was annoying. I had to find some random mounts that Prinsu racks use, and I had to grind that down to get the fit over the wind guard. Apparently, it started snowing really bad. I wasn't aware that it was gonna snow like this right now, but I'm gonna try to finish this video. Coming up here at the top here, this is an awning, about $100. This was actually really easy to install. I used the mounting hardware that came with the awning, had no issues mounting that up. Then next to that, I have a water port. Again, actually pretty simple to install. The mounting hardware didn't need adjusted for that. I will say though, it was kind of annoying because the T-slot system they have up there, there's only one opening on one side. I didn't realize this when I installed the roof rack. I thought there was openings to slide the T-slots in there on both sides, but it's only on one side. So I have some of the bars up there facing the wrong way. And to get around that, I actually just grinded out a new hole to put a T-slot through instead of taking everything apart and swapping that bar around the face the other way. I forgot to mention with that water port I have up there, that's 8 gallons of water. So it comes in about 91 pounds completely full. Then on this side, I have a 23-0 box. Now, when we lived out of our truck, because that's what I designed this truck for, that's why it's got all this stuff on it. But when we lived out of the truck, I used this case to hold all of our clothes and it was full all the time. On top of that case, I have mounted a solar panel. Then next to that, this is a shower awning. So as you guys can see, I'm using all the space I possibly can on this roof rack and it holds a lot of weight. I would say altogether with my clothes and that water full, because I would drive around with the water full all the time, even on the interstate, never had any issues, but probably about 200 pounds mounted on this roof rack and I didn't have any issues. No issues with water leaking into the cab, no issues with things getting loose. I'm really impressed with how much weight I've been able to hold up there and things not breaking. So the roof rack's been on the truck for over a year now and I've had all this stuff mounted on top of the roof rack for about 8 to 9 months now. And again, like I mentioned before, no issues. I've been really impressed with actually using this roof rack as a roof rack and mounting stuff on it. Onto the wind noise. I get a lot of questions about wind noise with the roof rack setup. As you guys can imagine, set up like this, it's loud. And I also have a sunroof in this truck, so it's even more loud than you would expect if you don't have a sunroof. But when I was just running just the rack, honestly, it was still pretty loud as well. You're sticking a piece of metal on top of your truck and messing up the aerodynamics. So you're gonna hear some wind noise. I wouldn't say it's terribly unpleasant, but you're gonna have wind noise, especially if you set it up like this. You're gonna hear it. There's no way around it unless you do something, I don't even know. There's no way around it. You just gotta deal with it. I've learned to deal with it. I just turn the music up, but the wind noise is there. You know what, instead of talking to you guys about the wind noise, how about we go for a drive and I let you hear the wind noise for yourself as much as my phone mic can pick it up. All right, so as you guys can see here, if you listen, I'm doing about 55 right now. Let me shift gears. And yeah, the sunroof is closed in this clip, but you can still hear the wind pretty good. Put you a little bit closer up to where my head is. Back up to about 55, 60, but I had the sunroof visor thing open. Not the glass, but just felt. And we're doing about F-150 with the sunroof closed here. As you guys can tell, pretty loud, not super loud that it's annoying and unbearable. Like I said, just kind of turn the music up. Not like I'm just driving around trying to listen to it. I hope you guys enjoyed that little ride. So my closing thoughts here on this roof rack is I think it's a 10 out of 10 budget roof rack. I think if you're a budget-minded person who doesn't mind a little bit of DIY work, I think this will be perfect for you. As I mentioned, you are gonna have to do DIY work. So if you're afraid of that, maybe spend the extra money so you don't have the headache. I personally am not afraid to do a little DIY work. My dad's really good at it. So if I ever have any issues and I can't do it, I usually just take it to him. He'll get it fixed up. So that's why I kind of don't steer away from the budget minded stuff. But if you're a person who just wants to throw a rack on the top of their truck and not think about it, I would spend the money on something else. But if you want to save that money, definitely a 10 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It means a ton to me. We're on a road to 10,000 subscribers and we're almost there. Do me a big favor also, check this video out. It's pretty good and I'll see you in the next one.